What if the greatest barrier to connection isn't external, but deeply internal? Imagine the unique pain of offering genuine affection to someone convinced they don't deserve it. This silent struggle poses a fundamental challenge for any relationship. Consider Sarah and Dan, a couple just 3 months into what seems like a blossoming romance. Their connection appears undeniable, built on shared moments and growing intimacy. Just weeks ago, they explored Paris together, a romantic escape etched in memory. Last weekend, Sarah introduced him to her parents. This weekend, they plan a significant step, meeting his university friends. All outward indicators suggest a flourishing, vibrant relationship. Yet beneath this polished surface, Dan carries a silent, heavy burden. As a child, his mother was distant, openly preferring his older sister, leaving an emotional scar that never truly healed. Years have passed. Dan has achieved professional success and broad accomplishments, but that childhood wound remains. It simmers just beneath the surface, an unaddressed echo of the past. This buried pain now subtly dictates his every interaction, casting a shadow on the very love he receives. What if the love you've always craved becomes the hardest thing to accept? For many, a history of emotional scarcity makes genuine connection deeply unsettling. Consider Dan. He might unconsciously push Sarah away, finding flaws where none exist, or subtly sabotaging intimate moments. He struggles to truly accept the profound care she offers, believing himself unworthy. Sarah's intense affection, rather than a comforting embrace, can trigger an unconscious threat response within him. His deep-seated belief in unworthiness prevents him from fully embracing her love. From a young age, Dan built his character to withstand isolation. He learned to survive on a meager emotional diet, making peace with deprivation, which led him to doubt sincere kindness. This past shapes his present. His dating history is a testament to the pattern. Unavailable partners, though painful, felt strangely familiar, a perverse echo of the emotional landscape he knew. It's a powerful paradox. Our minds don't always easily embrace the very gifts we've long been denied. Imagine achieving perfect happiness, only to find yourself compelled to destroy it. Why would anyone sabotage their own joy? This isn't a hypothetical. For many, true happiness can feel profoundly threatening, triggering an unconscious alarm. They've grown accustomed to struggle, making genuine affection or peace seem suspicious, even dangerous. Such individuals often unconsciously push away the very warmth they desire. They might question authenticity or engineer conflict, inadvertently disrupting the fragile atmosphere of connection. Consider the subtle yet devastating dynamic between Dan and Sarah. They're enjoying a delightful dinner, an evening that perfectly encapsulates connection. Then, without warning, Dan accuses Sarah of sarcasm, claiming she disrespects his literary tastes. Sarah, genuinely puzzled, tries to de-escalate the sudden tension. I'm sorry if you've got that impression, but it's not anything I feel," she responds maturely. Yet Dan refuses to be appeased. This scenario illustrates a deep-seated fear, the discomfort with sustained well-being, leading to self-inflicted chaos. A perfect evening, suddenly shattered. He pushed, forcing confrontation, and their elegant dinner crumbled into silence. The couple retreated from the fancy Italian restaurant, tension thick between them. Dan spent the night on the sofa, all plans for tomorrow abruptly canceled. This wasn't about petty arguments or sarcasm. It was about a deeper, more profound self-sabotage. Dan's subconscious mind, fearing genuine intimacy, compelled him to destroy the very warmth he secretly craved. Consider the entrepreneur who inexplicably pulls back right before a breakthrough, or the friend who creates distance just as a bond strengthens. This is the insidious power of defensive isolation, a pattern of pushing away the very happiness we desire. Understanding this destructive cycle is the first vital step towards breaking its grip. How do unseen past hurts silently derail our present happiness? What if the love we crave today is overshadowed by the comfort we never received yesterday? If you found this exploration insightful, like this video and subscribe for more psychological deep dives. Many believe their partners fall short, but the truth is often far more complex. This isn't just a philosophical puzzle. It's a raw, hidden dynamic shaping countless relationships, often without our awareness. Consider Dan, whose deep-seated cry isn't truly about his partner, Sarah. It's an echo from his past, a skepticism born from his mother's emotional absence. Decades later, this old wound projects onto Sarah, making him believe her affection isn't real or enough. He demands an impossible perfection, unable to accept her genuine, flawed humanity. Even her everyday traits become ammunition, fueling his inner conflict against her perceived inadequacy. This isn't limited to romantic relationships. Imagine a professional who grew up with constantly critical parents. Now, in the workplace, they might interpret constructive feedback as a personal attack, spiraling into self-doubt and pushing away valuable mentorship. This isn't about malice. It's the desperate attempt of an unhealed part of ourselves seeking to rectify old pains in new, often inappropriate contexts. What if the biggest threat to your future isn't out there, but deep within your past? Have you ever sabotaged a good thing simply because you feared it wouldn't last? We often replicate the very patterns we swore to escape. It's a defense mechanism, born from deep-seated, inherited fears. Consider Dan. He isn't just picking a fight with his partner. He's preemptively destroying a connection, believing it's safer to crash the relationship himself than endure the possibility of being hurt again. This isn't conscious malice. It's a primal terror of betrayal, etched into his psyche from past wounds. Perhaps his childhood taught him that vulnerability leads to pain. Now, every kind gesture feels like a prelude to abandonment. He might, for instance, constantly test his partner's loyalty with unreasonable demands, or withdraw emotionally right when things start to feel serious. It's a desperate, unconscious attempt to push away those who get too close before they can inflict perceived damage. Understanding this dynamic is the first step towards breaking these inherited patterns and building truly authentic connections. True progress begins when we face the uncomfortable truth. How we love now is inextricably linked to how we learn to love then. If this resonated, please consider subscribing for more insights into human psychology. Do unseen shadows from your past still dictate your present? What if the patterns in your relationships aren't new, but echoes from long ago? Our earliest experiences, particularly around trust and intimacy, profoundly shape our adult connections. Perhaps you constantly seek validation, fearing abandonment in friendships. Or maybe you struggle with commitment, even when deep affection is present. These aren't random quirks of personality. They are often unconscious blueprints, subtly dictating our present actions and emotional responses. Until we unearth and understand these underlying scripts, breaking free from their grip remains challenging. Imagine finding yourself repeatedly drawn to unavailable partners, or consistently sabotaging healthy relationships. This isn't fate, but a signal from your emotional history. Liberation begins with this crucial self-awareness. It's about recognizing the hidden influences that prevent truly secure and fulfilling bonds. Understanding your emotional history isn't a burden. It's the most powerful key to a future defined by your conscious choices, not your past wounds. Unlock your past to truly live your present. If this resonated, please consider subscribing for more insights.